Hello and welcome to another episode of Wannabe Entrepreneur. I hope you are doing fine. And what a lovely Friday this is. Beautiful Friday for you and for me and everyone. There's a reason why I don't sing in the songs I try to produce is because I'm really, really bad. But let's get started with another episode. Today, I want to speak a little bit about the podcast and about changeit, about my projects, what's going on in my mind. And the first thing I want to say is I hope you listen to the episode that I released on Wednesday, the interview I did with Florian. I know it's a bit long, but I think there's a lot of interesting takeaways from that conversation. And one is what he says about biking yourself out of your own business. So automating the things that you don't like to do and just do whatever you actually are good at doing in your business. And for me, that's no question about it. I hate the marketing part, the part of getting users and for now, for instance, for my episodes, every time I release an interview, I try to splice it in chunks and then upload it to YouTube. So all of this work is really annoying, and especially trying to figure out what are the algorithms that work and the techniques that work to trick the algorithms of all these different social medias. So unfortunately, I'm not making enough money to actually hire someone to do this. But it's definitely the first thing I'll be doing once my projects take off. Is I will definitely start automating this part, or at least delegating this to other people, because it's something that I really hate doing. And I also find that it's very hard to automate with software, because content creating is something that you're trying to bring value to the users, and normally if you do that in an automated way, it's very hard to bring consistently value to the users and the listeners. So for now, what I decided for the podcast is to focus on only two social networks and two kind of channels of advertising, and completely ignore the others. So the ones I try to figure out which ones actually made me more happy and that I like the most to use as a user, and those are Twitter and YouTube. So Reddit used to be a thing, but I feel that now I guess they kind of block my account because it's too spammy or something. It's hard to get a post trending, so eventually I will still go back to Reddit and try to do a post or another post, or even to do market research. Reddit is still the best, but to actually advertise your product, I feel that Twitter is a great platform, because I created an account, right, for a Wannabe Entrepreneur, and it's WBE podcast if you want to follow. And basically it's great because I can just follow a bunch of startup related tweets and content creators, and I can answer them and actually really get into that culture that I really love. And by doing so, people will just notice my account and they'll be like, hey, what is this Wannabe Entrepreneur? And then they will find my podcast that way. So it's a great organic way for me to, in one hand, still be inside of the topics that I love and just, interact with the community, and still advertise my platform and my podcast. So I'll be tweeting there and trying to understand a little bit how can I grow my Twitter account. So far I got 28 followers or something. So let's see if it goes up. And for YouTube, it's just because the algorithm is super good. So if somehow I'm able to get these interviews into chunks and then release them often on YouTube, at some point I hope that the algorithm will just pick up and I'll get a bunch of new listeners. And it's also great for interviews that are too long to just release the highlights, because then people can just go there and listen to the highlights if they don't feel like listening to the full interview. So yeah, definitely those will be my main focuses. And every time I interview someone, I will really try to convince these people or these interviewees to share with their community, and by that I'll create a little teaser. I'll make splice the interview into different videos and share it with them. Make it really easy for them to share with their community. So those were the things I'll be focusing, and I'll forget about Instagram. I'll forget about Reddit and Facebook and so on. I'll just focus on this. And the same for changeit actually. Thankfully now changeit, I'm having a lot of organic downloads. I mean, not a lot, but every day I have like between 4 and 8 downloads. Unfortunately, I'm also losing a lot of people, so I have to figure that out why that's happening. But at least I'm getting new users without having to put too much effort into it. But I'll still also grow my blog, because I get a lot of traffic from Google from there, and also my Twitter account, and that will be it. Besides that, I asked you in I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, what did you think if I should or if I should reduce the frequency of my podcasts, because I'm releasing daily and it's a lot of work, and I did a poll on Twitter, and actually I got, I think, 5 people voting, so not a lot, and 3 voted for me to continue daily, and 2 said that it's fine if I reduce a little bit. So I'm really considering to at least take the weekends out, so that I can have a weekend for myself and then just release from Monday to Friday. So I'm still like making my decision, and I'll give you my final decision on the 100th episode. So let's see if you can still reach out to me. So if you want really to also have your weekends with Wannabe Entrepreneur episodes, just tweet me a message, and vote in that way. And lastly for today, I just want to say again that I don't do ads. I really want to conduct this business the way I want it, and the way I love it. And I hate advertisement and having a podcast and always be filled with advertisement and product placement. I really don't want to do this. So my goal here is to get this community paying and for the podcast, and have this kind of pay what you think is worth. So if you really enjoy this podcast and if you want it to continue, if you want to contribute for it to continue, I would really ask you to consider to supporting it. So you can do a one-time contribution. You just basically buy me a coffee. It's €5. You can buy me as much as you want, or you can even become a member, and it's a €4 monthly subscription, and you'll get a bunch of access. So you get premium content, and you'll get also access to Slack. But most of all, you'll be contributing for the podcast that you like. And you are kind of the reason why this podcast will continue. So I think I really like this model. I think it makes total sense. There's no advertisements. There's nothing in between. It's just you and me. So yeah, if you like it, I would really ask you to consider this support. And this was the episode for today. And see you tomorrow.